So it's 2026 and you decided to finally pick up sim racing, but you're working on a budget and you just don't know where to start. Well, today I'm going to show you the cheapest way to get into sim racing. To start sim racing, you really only need three things: a wheel, pedals, and a game. The great thing about budget wheels is that the wheel and the pedals come bundled together. But first, you should ask yourself, what do you specifically want to do in sim racing? Do you want to get into the nitty-gritty of wheel-to-wheel racing on a circuit? Or do you want to go the sim drifting route where you need the wheel to be more snappy? Because it's really important to note that there's different types of force feedbacks. The main ones are gear-driven, belt-driven, and direct drive. Some examples of gear-driven wheels are the Logitech G29 and the Thrustmaster T248. A gear-driven force feedback system uses actual gears inside the wheel to create the resistance and simulates what the car is doing on track. When the car turns, hits bumps, or loses grip, the motor spins the gears first, then the gears spin the wheel. But the downside of gear-driven force feedback wheels is that it's not as smooth. Since it uses gears, you can actually feel the gear teeth as you turn the wheel. And if you're looking to get into sim drifting, I would steer clear of all gear-driven force feedback wheels, because the gears are very slow to react to countersteer, which ends up making you have to compensate for the lack of reactiveness. Now moving on to some belt-driven force feedback wheels, some examples are the Thrustmaster T150 and the Thrustmaster T300 RS GT. A belt-driven force feedback system uses a motor connected to belts and pulleys to spin the wheel, which makes it great for sim drifting. But the belt can absorb some of the details, so you might lose a little bit of the finer feedback compared to the higher end systems. Now all of these wheels are great budget options, but if they're still a little too expensive for you, you can always go to Facebook Marketplace and find one for around $100 less. Now direct drive wheels like Moza and Fanatec are definitely the most realistic option, but it is overkill if you're just starting out. If you do want to go straight to the direct drive option, the Moza R3 is the cheapest on the market right now, coming in at $340 on Amazon, but it's only available on Xbox and PC. And the cheapest direct drive option for PlayStation is the Thrustmaster T598, which is currently $560 on Amazon, which is way too much for a beginner wheel. But when people see sim racing setups like this online, they think you need a full rig as well, and that's just not necessary at all. When you're just starting out, a desk setup works completely fine. A rig is nice, it makes everything more stable and immersive, but it's not going to make you faster as a beginner. What actually matters is getting comfortable, learning the basics, and just getting seat time. So instead of blowing your whole budget on a rig right away, just put that money towards your wheel and your pedals. And if you stick with sim racing, you can always upgrade later, but to start, you really don't need it. Once you've got a wheel set up, the next step is choosing the game, and this is where a lot of people overthink it. You don't need the most realistic game to start, you just need something that feels good, is fun to play, and helps you learn to drive. If you're on a budget, the absolute best place to start is Assetto Corsa. It's usually very cheap, on sale, and if you're on PC, with the right mods, you can drive anything on any track. Another great PC option would be iRacing. It's one of the most competitive sims out there, but it's also subscription based, so it gets expensive pretty fast. Some great games for all systems are Forza Horizon 5 and Dirt Rally 2.0. Forza Horizon 5 is great to customize cars, free roam around the map, and do all types of races. And Dirt Rally 2.0 is really challenging, but it helps you learn car control really fast. And a great PlayStation exclusive is Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is a simcade, which means it's a mix between realistic physics and accessibility. It's not as hardcore as some PC sims, but it still feels realistic enough to actually learn driving techniques. The biggest beginner mistake is thinking that gear makes you faster. It doesn't. Seat time does. If you've been thinking about getting into sim racing, just start. You don't need the best setup, you just need to drive. If you enjoyed the video, I really would appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.